Not everyone understood Maddy Perez. To most people, she was intimidating, untouchable, too confident. She walked into a room like she owned it, like no one could shake her, like nothing could hurt her. But what they never saw was the girl underneath the armor. Because girls like her don't become hard for no reason. They become hard after being hurt, after being overlooked, after learning that softness can be taken advantage of. So they adapt, they observe, they stop showing where it hurts. And slowly, they build walls. Perfect makeup, perfect posture, perfect confidence. Because control feels safer than vulnerability. If you control how people see you, you control how they treat you. And for someone who has felt powerless before, that control feels like survival. But here's the truth no one talks about. Confidence can be a shield. Beauty can be armor. And being hard can be protection. Underneath it all, she wasn't cold. She was loyal, protective, and deeply emotional. When she loved completely. When she defended someone, she meant it. And when she was betrayed, it cut deeper than she ever showed. Because girls like her don't cry in front of everyone. They cry in private. They process alone, and they return stronger, so no one sees the damage. That strength, it isn't arrogance. It's survival. People often confuse self-protection with attitude. They mistake boundaries for coldness. They misread emotional control as a lack of feeling. But the truth is, feeling deeply and showing it selectively are not the same thing. Girls like her feel everything. They just don't trust everyone with access to their softness. And that isn't cruelty. It's discernment. Because once you've given your heart to the wrong person, you learn to guard it differently. You learn to watch actions instead of listening to promises. You learn that attention is not the same as love, and you learn that being desired is not the same as being valued. That lesson changes you. It makes you sharper, more observant, less willing to accept less than you deserve. And suddenly, people call you intimidating. Not because you are cruel, but because you're no longer easy to access. If you've ever been called too much, too strong, too confident, too guarded, you might understand her more than you think. Because self-worth often looks like distance, boundaries, standards. Not everyone earns access to your softness. And that doesn't make you cold. It makes you self-aware. It means you know the difference between someone who is curious about you and someone who is committed to you. Girls like her don't fear love. They fear losing themselves in it. Because they've seen what happens when you shrink to keep someone. They've seen what happens when loyalty is one-sided. And they promised themselves